Sini, lu bercanda sama gua? Hah? Lu mau mati, termasuk Pak. Mana dia?
The movie kicks off inside a prison, where a guy in a shirt, accompanied by cops, encounters a mob boss named Lee. Displaying pictures of the youngsters he's taken down, the shirt-wearing man warns Lee about impending retribution the next day. Simultaneously, a different inmate, tasked with mopping, swipes a blade from the cleaning bucket and thrusts it into a guard's throat. This prisoner then acquires a firearm, dispatching another guard in the penitentiary. A subsequent shootout ensues, with the inmate eliminating several guards before succumbing to fatal wounds. Lee grabs the man in the shirt by the head, slamming him into the door until he loses consciousness. Lee breaks free, challenging the man to a hand-to-hand showdown. The injured man can't match up, collapsing onto the unforgiving prison floor. Lee proceeds to free himself, urging fellow inmates to grab weapons and escape. Following this, the guards find themselves facing the escaped prisoners in a harrowing gun battle, resulting in the demise of all those involved. Lee resurfaces, successfully making his getaway from the penitentiary. Jump ahead 2 months, and Dr. Eileen is tending to the film's protagonist, a man in a coma at a secluded hospital on a small island. Wrapped in mystery, his past and true identity remain undisclosed. Upon regaining consciousness and inadvertently falling out of bed, Eileen begins her examination of the man. Unfortunately, he has no recollection of his injuries or his own identity. Consequently, he adopts the name Ishmael, drawing inspiration from the novel Moby Dick that Eileen is currently immersed in. While gazing at his reflection, Ishmael briefly recalls a woman shooting him in the face. After undergoing medical evaluations, Eileen offers him a fresh set of clothes. With each passing day, Ishmael's well-being improves, and he increasingly spends time with Eileen. While enjoying a day at the beach, Eileen reveals that a local resident found him washed ashore. Shifting the focus, we encounter Anto, a gang leader, and his right-hand man, Bondi, awaiting Lee for a meeting, though Lee is running late. Anto's frustration flares, but Bondi convinces him to be patient. When Lee finally arrives, Anto addresses the issue directly, expressing reservations about continuing their partnership due to the subpar quality of the weapons Lee has been providing. Concurrently, a skirmish breaks out among rival gang members outside. Eventually, Bessie, Lee's enforcer, effortlessly overpowers Anto's men. Rika, another member of Lee's gang, hurls a knife at one of Anto's associates before engaging in combat with the others. Anto brandishes a firearm with the intent to eliminate Lee, but Lee skillfully thwarts him by thrusting chopsticks into Anto's throat. Seizing Anto's weapon, Lee dispatches the remaining members of the opposing gang. As he prepares to eliminate Bondi, the latter imparts crucial information, disclosing that Ishmael, once part of Lee's gang, is still alive. Lee fires a shot, grazing Bondi's ear, and directs him to the hospital for confirmation on Ishmael's status. Complying, Bondi heads to the hospital, displaying aggressive behavior upon arrival. Dismissing a security guard with a slap, Bondi's ear injury draws Eileen's attention. Bondi presses Eileen for information about Ishmael's whereabouts, but she hesitates to divulge. Resorting to threats, Bondi's intimidation is cut short by the timely entrance of Ishmael, who firmly grasps Bondi's hand. In response, Bondi tosses a glass bottle at Ishmael's head, momentarily causing disorientation. Ishmael counters by slamming Bondi against a wall. Despite Bondi drawing a firearm, Ishmael swiftly confiscates the ammunition magazine. Overwhelmed by Ishmael's skill, Bondi hastily makes his escape. Following this, Eileen and Ishmael embark on a journey to the city. Eileen suggests they travel to Jakarta together, reasoning that the hospital is no longer secure. Ishmael requires a surgical procedure to remove bullet fragments lodged in his brain, a service available in Jakarta. However, Ishmael insists on unraveling the mystery of his identity and past before joining her in Jakarta. The next day, he accompanies her to the bus station, where Lee's henchmen, covertly observing from a vehicle, take notice. As the bus embarks on its journey, Lee's henchmen initiate their pursuit, presuming Ishmael is among the passengers. Simultaneously, Ishmael opts for an unconventional mode of transport and hitches a ride with a moped rider. Later, the bus is intercepted by Lee's thugs, who are hot on Ishmael's trail. A henchman abruptly eliminates the bus driver, and the gang proceeds to search the vehicle. In a state of panic, Eileen contacts Ishmael, alerting him to the perilous situation. The henchmen then open fire on the bus passengers, leaving only Eileen and a young girl as survivors. As a henchman prepares to harm the girl, Eileen emerges from hiding, pleading for her life. Bondi presses Eileen for Ishmael's location, and she informs him that Ishmael stayed in the city. Ishmael eventually arrives at the scene on the moped, boarding the bus in search of Eileen but finding no trace of her. Shortly after, Lee's henchmen revisit the bus with the intent to cremate the bodies and eliminate any traces. One of the thugs wields a machete, attempting to dispatch Ishmael, but the main character incapacitates him by breaking his arm. Another henchman enters, dousing Ishmael in gasoline and attempting to ignite a lighter. However, Ishmael forcefully pushes him away. While the henchman struggles to retrieve the lighter, Ishmael closes in and dispatches him with a bullet through the eye. Subsequently, another of Lee's henchmen enters with a torch, setting the floor ablaze. Ishmael shatters the rear window and leaps out of the bus, engaging in combat with yet another henchman who tries to force him back onto the flaming vehicle. Ishmael prevails, overpowering the henchman and ruthlessly eliminating another by smashing their skull against the bus. Soon after, law enforcement arrives at the scene, striking Ishmael on the head and causing him to lose consciousness. Lee's underlings transport Eileen and the young girl to their secret location. Bondi, growing increasingly arrogant and verbose, crosses a line, resulting in his execution by the henchmen. Our main character awakens in an interrogation room, facing suspicion for the bus massacre. Despite the accusations, he asserts that his sole objective was to locate his friend Eileen. An Interpol official then briefs him on Lee's operation, where young individuals are abducted and transformed into loyal traffickers and criminal muscle, a fate Ishmael himself experienced. The official reveals that they once apprehended Lee, finding him weaponless and unprotected, but he managed to escape. The official then shares a photograph depicting Lee and Ishmael together at a restaurant. Our protagonist admits to a memory lapse just as the lights abruptly go out. The official rises to investigate but is swiftly dispatched through the window by a machete. Lee's squad launches an assault on the police station, aiming to assassinate Ishmael. The machete-wielding henchman enters the room, attempting to eliminate Ishmael, who uses the cuff table as a shield. He counters by shoving the henchman with the table, deftly decapitating him with his own weapon. Unexpectedly, a grenade is thrown into the police station, prompting Ishmael to take cover behind the table. After the explosion, the hitmen enter to confirm Ishmael's demise, only for him to emerge from behind and eliminate them with a firearm. Ishmael tries to escape but encounters Lee's henchmen at the exit. Dodging their gunfire just in time, he finds cover. The henchmen then disperse to search for him. Surprising one of them, Ishmael triggers an intense brawl. Seeking refuge beneath a table, Ishmael avoids gunfire as the henchman exhausts his ammunition. Seizing the opportunity, Ishmael lunges at the henchman, overpowering him. In a strenuous close-quarters combat, Ishmael ultimately shoots the henchman in the face, bringing down the remaining adversaries. Post-confrontation, Ishmael grapples with flashbacks involving the two henchmen he just defeated, realizing they were once comrades during his time under Lee's employment. Meanwhile, Lee pays a visit to Eileen, dialing his minion's number to call off the mission to assassinate Ishmael. To his surprise, Ishmael answers, confirming his survival. In a forceful act, Lee grabs Eileen by the throat, leading her to retaliate by driving a pair of scissors into his shoulder. Lee promptly removes them, loosening his grip. Advancing toward Lee, Ishmael's journey triggers flashbacks from his training days with Lee's minions. Venturing into a dense forest, Ishmael stumbles upon a well where he encounters Bessie. Here, he learns that he, Bessie, and Rika underwent collective training, enduring Lee's method of subjecting them to starvation by confining them to the well. After days of deprivation, food would be thrown in, and the sole survivor of the ensuing fight for sustenance would be freed. In an attempt to sway Bessie away from supporting Lee, Ishmael faces resistance as Bessie's loyalty prevails. A confrontation ensues, with Ishmael overpowering Bessie and delivering a powerful blow to his head. As death looms, Bessie makes his way to the beach, passing away while savoring the scenic view. Ishmael follows to the shore, only for Rika to emerge, shooting at him as he scrambles away. Discovering Bessie's lifeless body, she pursues Ishmael. Upon finding her, Ishmael blinds Rika with sand and seizes her firearm, triggering his recollection of Rika being the one who shot him, leading to his coma. He orders her to lead him to Lee, but she defies, provoking a duel. Despite numerous injuries, Ishmael ultimately emerges victorious, urging her to cease fighting and expressing his desire to end the cycle of killing. Exploiting his momentary distraction, Rika attempts to produce a gun but fails to shoot him again, firing aimlessly and depleting her ammunition. Seizing the opportunity, Ishmael gravely injures her by instinctively hurling a knife. In her final moments, he consoles her and then contacts Lee, revealing the return of his memory. Following this, Ishmael discovers Lee's hidden lair. Meanwhile, at the hideout, a henchman is preparing to harm Eileen. The young girl intervenes by hurling a plate at the man's head, and Eileen utilizes a shard from the broken plate to slash him. Eileen then seizes the automatic rifle, eliminating the henchman. Progressing down the corridor, they confront another henchman. While attempting to escape, Eileen faces more of Lee's men, but fortunately, Ishmael arrives and dispatches them. Upon their reunion, Eileen initially harbors hostility towards Ishmael, given their past, resulting in her captivity. He convinces her that he is transformed, leading to a heartfelt embrace. Lee enters, furious that Ishmael has slain Bessie and Rika, individuals he highly regarded. Subsequently, an intense battle unfolds between the two, with Lee demonstrating dominance due to his superior strength and extensive experience. Over time, Lee delivers numerous blows to Ishmael's head, leaving him disoriented. Seizing an opportunity, Lee aims for a punishing blow, but Ishmael narrowly avoids it. Following this, Ishmael successfully shifts the tide in his favor. However, fatigued, he collapses to the ground, allowing Lee to escape outdoors. Giving pursuit, Ishmael and Lee resume their fight amidst the dense jungle. The culmination of their struggle sees Ishmael impaling Lee on a sharp branch of a tree. In a final, desperate attempt to secure victory, Lee tries to skewer Ishmael on the same branch, but Eileen intervenes just in time. Succumbing to his injuries, Lee meets his demise. Eileen undergoes recovery in a hospital, while Ishmael continues to grapple with serious injuries. Despite his condition, he wakes up with Eileen at his side, greeted by her reassuring smile. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.